Hello, ladies. How are you guys doing? Sorry, I got hungry right before I started this live. Mm, mm, mm. Anybody else like Skinny Pop? I love Skinny Pop. I think it's the best popcorn ever. I think it's better than regular popcorn. Anyone else? I think it's way better. Mm, mm, Ooh, ooh, y'all, that just did something for me. That just did something for me. Woo wee. Woo. I put a little ice in my water. I feel refreshed. Okay, let's get into this video. But first, let me get into my intro. And then we're gonna talk about this whole situationship Sneakylink. I'm excited about this live. I don't know if you guys are excited, but I'm excited about this live. Okay.
Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish I could thank you guys individually, but I'm trying to keep my sanity. I'm trying to keep my sanity. You guys love the dress, and I got it from Amazon. So I'm trying to figure out how to create a influencer storefront for Amazon because I don't have that set up. And then these glasses are from Amazon. This I put this outfit together. This what is this called again? It's called a gosh, I forget what it's called. I guess a waist shaper, but it's not a waist shaper. I forget what it's called, but got this from Amazon too. So I'm trying to work a corset. That's what it is, a corset. I'm trying to figure out how to get my influencer storefront because y'all, I definitely be on Amazon. I do. And the reason is because it's convenient. The birthday dress that I wore yesterday, that came in 24 hours. Yes, 24 hours. It was shipped overnight because I have Prime Amazon. And I was just really impressed. I was really impressed. And then nowadays, when it comes to Amazon, the return is just so convenient. I just go to my local Whole Foods and just return my Amazon purchase if I need to return it because I needed to get a different size. And you good to go. So I love Amazon. The bag that I wore is also from Amazon. So once I get my influencer storefront, that's what it's called, influencer storefront, then I will go ahead and get the links and stuff like that because y'all know a woman looks good in a wrap dress. I don't care what shape you are. I don't care what size you are. You could be plus size. You can be slim. If you wear a wrap dress, sis, you're going to look good in that. That is like the standard. If you are starting a feminine journey and you're trying to wear more dresses, I'm always going to tell you to start with a wrap dress that ties on the side. If you don't have curves, if you do have curves, you're going to have them in the dress because it's wrapped. It's wrapped around you. If you're more up and down, like you have like a rectangle body shot or body shape, then I would do like a what are they called where the dresses kind of flare out at the bottom? That will help mimic you having hips if you feel like you need to add something more, voluptuous. do the dresses that kind of flare out. That will give you like, it would mimic hips if that's what you need or if that's what you're looking to do. So those are just some tips, but let's go ahead and get into this video. This video is going to go on, two pieces are great. This video is going to go on Patreon. So if you do come up here and you share your story about your Sneakylink or your friend, your situationship, it's going to be broadcasted live, but then it's going to be saved to Fit and Flare. Yeah, Fit and Flare. It's going to be saved to Patreon. Okay, so first come, first serve. Let me go ahead and play this because I wanted to talk about Sneakylinks for a sec. We live in a situational Sneakylink culture, and I decided to take myself out of that realm of dating because it's truly not for me. I'm tired of feeling like I've been in relationships that I haven't actually been in because they don't have the standard social structure of what a relationship could be, but it still was a relationship. It felt like a relationship. I'm tired of feeling like I have to heal from relationships that are not relationships because they feel like a relationship emotionally, mentally, and in some cases spiritually. And so I'm just tired of those type of relationships. I will never do another situationship, Sneakylink. Listen, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I took myself out the game. It's just not for me. Okay, so that means I'm not having sex. I'm not doing any of that. Get somebody else to do it. Because when you look at it from a bird's eye view, you realize you always come up short. Somehow you get the shorter end of the stick. And that's just not good enough for me. So I just don't want to ever do it. And y'all, I swear to God, I am not doing it. I'm so serious. It's the same thing every single time. And if just like I don't want to go through that again. And it's like you keep putting yourself through heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, and it's not even a relationship. That's what's crazy for me. It's not even a relationship. Hell, and then it's like you can't even talk to certain people about it because they don't even understand the relationship because it wasn't like really public and you guys weren't social, and it's just stressful. It's stressful. So I'm not doing another situationship. And situationships always start off sexual. So that's why it's just, no, I'm just not going to have sex. It's really simple for me. And then lastly, what was the other thing that I wanted to mention? Situationships tend to be harder to heal from, in my opinion, because you have to heal from the thought of what you thought could be, right? Like you thought that the relationship was going to eventually become this and it didn't. So you have to basically grieve what could have been horrible. And then you have to heal from the experience in itself. And it's like the double whammy, so it's like you have to grieve, and then part of your healing journey is healing from the memories and all that. So it's like double whammy. And so when I came to this conclusion that every time I get into a situationship, it's like I have to grieve what could have been, then I have to heal the relationship in itself. And I'm like, that's too much for me to handle as a person, as an individual, as a woman who has feelings, emotions, personality, wants, needs, and they're still not being met. And then I still have to heal and grieve what could have been, what should have been. And then I also have to deal with what was. And that's a mess. Like I'm not doing, y'all, I swear to. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I've been situational Sneakylink free for a year and some months, and I'm not going back. You can't even pay me $1 million to go back. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Ain't enough money in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and share this one woman's story because she spoke on so many things that I could relate to. I'm pretty sure you could relate to if you've ever been in a situationship or a sneaky link relationship of some kind. And like I said, they always start off sexual. They always start off sexual. So let me go ahead and share this. So if you want to eliminate a situationship from happening to you, and you don't just sign up for a situationship. You don't sign up for a sneaky link. You just find yourself in one. And it always starts with sex. Now, listen, I'm not trying to convince nobody of nothing. It's at the end of the day, you know that when it comes to my channel, it's up to you. You have free will to make your own choices and decisions. You are a woman and you have every right to do exactly what you want. However, you have to think about the consequences because you got to take accountability for your actions. So if you don't like the situation, you don't have to keep putting yourself in those type of situations. You don't. It's a choice. It's a choice. Is it coming up?
Reached out to me last night for the first time since December, telling me that he thinks about me a lot and he misses cuddling with me and watching movies. To which I responded saying, I miss that too, but it sounds like you and I both want different things and I cannot allow that to happen unless we're on the same page. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he just responded to that message saying, I've never been opposed to that, but right now it would just be dope to have your company and some other things that I don't feel comfortable saying on here. And he said, if you're uncomfortable with that, I get it. On the one hand, I am super grateful that he's being honest with me, but I'd be lying if I said there's not another part of me that is dying on the inside. And this is where all of the self-work that I've been doing for the past year and a half now really comes into play. Because the little girl inside of me is crying right now because she doesn't feel chosen, she doesn't feel wanted, she doesn't feel like anyone ever wants to commit to her. But the healed me is choosing not to believe any of that because I know that there is someone out there that wants me, that's going to choose me, that is going to want to commit to me, and that is the vision that I will continue to hold. I'm also really grateful because now I know so clearly, like I cannot see it any clearer now, that I can move on and just leave this guy in the past. So yeah, that was a really rough moment. I felt very hurt reading that because there was a part of me that really wanted him to say, like, yes, let's try this again. I want to explore a relationship with you. And it didn't happen. But I'm really proud of myself for not giving in and for choosing myself instead of this guy that really just wants me for his own benefit.
Okay. So the only thing that I want to add before I bring you guys on is, you got to go off a man's actions, because when it comes to situationships, they tend to lead one way with their actions, but then their words tend to not match, or they tend to be inconsistent. So a lot of these men will treat you like you guys are in a relationship, but he doesn't want the official label. He's avoiding that because then he will feel like it's a real relationship, even though it does feel like a real relationship. But he can always weaponize the fact that it's not against you while still treating you like you guys are together. Typically, he will try to make it seem like, oh, but I'm single, but are you single, sis? A lot of times these men try to be territorial over you, but then they get to be out here doing what they want to do behind your back, but you're supposed to be loyal to them. And it's just, a lot of times the woman always gets the shorter end of the stick. So it's best that you don't associate yourself in a friends with benefits, a sneaky link, a situationship, simply being you have your freedom and you don't have to worry about somebody manipulating you, weaponizing sex against you, trying to be territorial over you, but then treating you as if 1 minute you guys are in a relationship, but then you're single. So you have to be careful with that. I think situationships are great for like divorcees, a woman that, you know, she just trying to get her groove back. She been divorced for a minute, you know what I mean? She finally got her freedom, but she don't want to really be in anything serious. You know, there are for some women this situationship could work, right? But you got to understand, what do you want? A divorcee, she not looking for nothing serious. She probably don't even want to get married. She probably don't even want to get remarried. She probably don't even want to be in a new relationship. So everyone's situation is going to be different. As a woman, I always say that when it comes to making choices and decisions for yourself, you have to sit down, weigh out the pros and cons, cross-examine what you want versus the pros and cons. Then you weigh out your options and then you move forward. You move forward with the understanding, okay, this is the consequence. This is what I would have to take accountability for if I find myself in this con. And then this is the pro. Is it worth the risk? And then you get to make that decision if it's worth the risk or not. So I listen, if some women do, they need to let their hair down. They do. Don't be staying cooped up in the house. You've been married, cooped up in the house, miserable. It's time for you to go outside and have some fun. And I'm an adult. You're an adult. Do what you want to do. Be safe about it, you know. But if you know you want a relationship, you know you want commitment, you can't be moving out here like you don't. You have to move out here like you do. So if you don't want a committed relationship, then yeah, you can move around out here like you don't want a committed relationship. But deep down, if you know that you do, a sneaky link, a friends with benefits, and a situationship is not going to benefit you. It's not. It's going to benefit a man more than anything. A situationship also tricks women into thinking that the guy that's in their league when it's just sex vibes. That's true, but I feel like that can go both ways. Like men get used for sex too. I know a lot of you guys don't want to face that because of ego, but you guys can get used for sex too. I've seen it with my own eyes. I do. Especially when a woman is emotionally detached. Only when a woman is emotionally detached, she's definitely using you. And I've seen this with cougars. No shade to the cougars out here, but I've seen it with cougars who tend to go after younger men. Yeah. Okay. So let me add the first caller up here. Hello, how are you? Is it Alicia? Alicia?
Oh, is that me?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Yanni.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. So what would you like to add to this juicy live? Remember that this is going to be saved. It is broadcast publicly, but it's going to be saved to Patreon. So whatever you do say, someone could hear it live, but it will be saved on Patreon. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, so this is what I would like to add. I just like I wouldn't call him a situationship because like I only seen him for like a month, but like I was like intimate with him and I just couldn't do it. I'm like, all right, we gotta wrap this up.
But what made
Yeah.
you pull the plug though?
All right, so this is what it was. Like he was like be flip-floppy. Like 1 minute he'd be like, okay, like like we're being sweet towards each other. We like have like a feeling of like a relationship. But then like the next moment he would totally like flip-flop with me and like act totally different. And then I'm just like, I don't know, like I'm used to like princess treatment. He's started to act weird. I'm like, you got to go.
So he was giving you the mental gymnastics. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, and I was not trying to flip. Like,
so you just called it quits. How did he take it?
he was like, "Oh, I he was like, I understand," and I'm just like, "Of course you understand because you're the one playing around. Like,
Right.
how do you not like? Yeah." So he took it like all right, but like I don't know. I felt kind of vulnerable like at a time because like I'm so like used to like having high standards and like having like guys meet requirements, And like honestly, I was just so tired of them not being met. Like it's gonna sound like kind of sad, but like I was just so tired of them like not being met and like not like being intimate with anybody and just kind of like
Mm.
being all to my like all to myself. That like you know like you have some drinks. He's kind of cute. He's not bad, and you know you just end up in that situation. But it was
That's
really
real.
quick.
I think it makes you human to crave intimacy from another person, you know, closeness, intimacy. And sometimes when we women crave that, we tend to find ourselves in situationships or situations that we really truly don't desire, but we're settling for what we can get at that time because we're often left disappointed if we continuously put ourselves out here and try to pursue something with someone and we get the same experience. So I think it makes you human to feel that way or to have felt that way at that time.
Yes, yeah.
But
I
now
felt
where
so
are
bad.
you mentally after having that experience?
Like I was like dating people like the whole
Mhm.
time. So like now I'm just like really like now I see like me being with someone I can really vibe with as so much
Mhm.
more possible because I know like okay, like you know, it's not just about the intimacy. Sometimes you know, like you get weak. Like okay, like I need
Right.
this, I need that, but like after that, I'm just like, you know what? I just can't do that.
Now, what would you tell women because we have needs, okay? I know the world that we live in doesn't like to acknowledge the fact that women have actual needs,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to sex, okay? What would you tell women who have that need? Do you feel like it's worth the shortcoming of the relationship that you experience?
I mean, what I went through, like honestly, it wasn't bad.
Mhm.
Like it's just not favorable. Like especially because like someone else could get big-headed about that situation and kind of
Mhm.
leave you feeling small. But like if you cut it off and you handle it and you can communicate and you're not gonna let anyone make you feel any type of way for what you did and what you wanted, I
Mhm.
think that could be, you know, like a good thing to do if that's what you need, you know?
Right, right.
But
Okay.
I don't know. It's like a tough situation.
It is. It's not easy, ladies. This if this was an easy thing, we wouldn't be here today. So
Yeah.
it's not easy. So don't beat yourself up about it, but you do got to be honest with yourself about it too, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you for coming up here and sharing. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Karma Nonchalant said invest in a vibrator collection. Girl, I have a vibrator collect. I have a sex toy collection. Let me be honest with y'all. I have a sex toy collection. And to be honest, I have such a big sex toy collection. I should be sponsored at this point. I should be sponsored because it's not worth like you got to understand when it comes to my box, right? I don't have to worry about no sexually transmitted diseases. I don't have to worry about no pregnancies. I can be as freaky as I want. And I don't have to worry about somebody trying to expose me for views or clout or anything like that. I don't have to worry about any unwanted pregnancies. I don't gotta worry about somebody using me. I don't gotta worry. I have a good time. And it's just gonna stay that way because men, you try to share that experience with them, and they just don't know how to be appreciative of the fact that you're giving them access. And then they have the audacity to not act right. That's no. So my little toys, we gonna be good over here because nobody, if I have to choose between the box versus dealing with a man that's stressing me out, breaking out my face, making me gain weight, draining my energy, I'm gonna choose the box every single time because it's just less stress. Stress ages you so fast. So it's just not worth it. And then like a lot if we're being completely honest, a lot of these men don't be hitting on much. It's you come across one and he will snatch your soul. But it's one. It's just one. And then you gotta roll the dice. You gotta open up a pack of Skittles, and you gotta find the green or the red in the red bag of Skittles because all you see are all these yellows, and they ain't hitting on nothing. I don't like yellow Skittles. I don't like yellow Starburst. I don't. So it's like when you open up these bags of Skittles, you open up these bags of Starburst. They got all these yellows in there, and I don't like yellow. I don't. I prefer red, actually. And that's just how I look at it. That's how I look at it. So they don't be hitting on nothing. And and then you be disappointed, wasting your time, just disappointed. Hello, what would you like to add to today's live?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh wow, I didn't know that was my icon up there. Okay. So my Sneakylink story took for like 9 months. Also, happy belated birthday. You look so beautiful in your dress.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet.
Yes, you're welcome. So like my Sneakylink, he was like 10 minutes away. We met on Tinder before I got banned. And
Oh, wait.
it was like in
wait.
college.
How did you get banned on Tinder?
So I guess I was talking to an older man, and I guess he thought I was being a sugar baby, so he
Mm-hmm.
reported me, and I got permanently banned
What?
when that wasn't the case. Yeah, I I don't really know what happened, but I'm happy I'm banned, so it's fine.
I
But
didn't even know you could get banned from Tinder.
oh yeah, me either until I looked it up on Google and I found out why, and I think that's one of the reasons why I got banned.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay, I'm sorry. I was girl, I'm just being
Oh,
nosy because I'm like, girl,
no,
why
you're
you could get banned?
no, you're
Okay.
fine.
But go right ahead.
So like
You said your Sneakylink, you guys were together or in a situationship for 9 months?
yeah, for 9 months, so like a whole school year.
Okay.
Um, so I used to cook for him. I used to clean for him. We always met at his parents' house. Like I was like 19 at the time, so I really thought like, oh, that's what we do in a relationship, but it wasn't a relationship. And we would never go on a date unless it was to a gun range.
Mm.
And um, so I always drove because he drove like a maniac. I don't know what it is with some guys in cars where they think every car is a race car. So I never wanted to drive with him. But his car was broken down. He couldn't fix it. He never wanted to fix it. And every time he put gas in it, it automatically went away, but it's fine. But he never paid gas money.
Mm.
And the sex was great, like you said, like they snatched your soul, but
Mhm.
he couldn't do anything for me. And I started realizing what the person he was because after my aunt passed away,
Mhm.
he made the whole situation about him. So
Ooh.
when I was gone for the weekend for the funeral,
Mhm.
and when I came back, he was like, "Oh, why didn't you text me? You should have contacted me." Da 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 da. And I'm like, "My aunt passed away. I'm at a funeral."
It's very selfish.
And before I went on the right, exactly. Before I went to the funeral, we did have sex unprotected, but when I was during the funeral, me and my mom were in the car. We were drunk at my other aunt's house, and we were in the car. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Mom, I really want to take a plan B." And she was like, "Okay." We went to CVS, took the plan B. Then we got in an argument when I came back, and he made the whole situation about him again. And so he was mad I didn't text him or anything. And we stopped talking for like a year.
Mhm.
And then last year on my birthday, we talked for like a couple of days. And I guess he started feeling some type of way because he wanted to know what I got for my birthday. And I told
Mhm.
him, and he was like, "Oh, you're big money, you're big money."
Ooh.
And so keep in mind it's like 3 days. And then next thing you know, he starts talking about sending me news and like, dick pics and stuff like that. And I said, "Oh, no thanks. Like I don't do news anymore. Like I'm fine."
Mhm.
And then he started asking, was he ugly? I'm like, why are you tying your looks to your dick?
Oh,
So I started
my God.
realizing a lot of red flags after
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
like how I got him a birthday present. He never gave me anything, but I was pouring into him. I wanted a relationship. I was
Mhm.
fiending for a relationship, especially after I had gotten a connection with his mother.
Ooh.
And he was like, "Oh, what did you get him for his birthday?" And at the time, he didn't have a trash can in his room. So I got him a trash can and a do-rag and all these things. I just realized how dumb I was
But girl, that's such
during
a
my
sneaky
sneaky link
link.
era.
Girl, that's such a sneaky link gift. Girl, because I've done it.
It is.
For a sneaky link, I've gotten him some kitchen towels. I sure did. I'm like, you don't got no kitchen towels. So I think for Christmas, Christmas, I got him some kitchen towels because I was tired of being over there, and I'm like, you don't got no kitchen towels, so I could dry my
How do
hands.
you dry your hands?
It's
Right.
it's such a sneaky link gift, you know. So don't feel ashamed, but I do want to ask because this is all a learning experience at the end of the day, right? What did you learn from this experience, though?
I learned a little bit more about myself and what I allow into like my energy, and
Mhm,
I learned that when you notice the first red flag, it's time to, start, getting out of that. But I've noticed so many red flags, but I was giving him a chance because I wanted to be with him.
mhm,
I don't know why, but it's like now I'm learning like you need to protect yourself, protect your energy, and not let everyone in. So ever since that experience, I've been
mhm,
celibate ever since because, and now I feel like I have a wall up because like I'm so scared to have relationships with other men
mhm,
because I don't want that to happen. So I'm like in the process of going to therapy for it. Like you said
mhm,
earlier, like situationships, it you take a little bit more longer to heal from them.
mhm, mhm. So
So
what we moving forward, like how do you feel like you're gonna move now as far as like the dating scene?
vetting
Mhm,
profusely, vetting and understanding and starting to learn like what I want in a man as well as setting intentions from the jump or like
mhm,
setting, boundaries from the jump instead of waiting and prolonging everything. Instead, like, I wasted my time. I wasted 9 months of my time. So
mm,
instead of wasting 9 months, I'd rather start getting to know him the first, 9 minutes or 90 days or like, getting to know him instead of off the bat, like, oh, he's a great guy. Why?
right.
Because he gives you good sex? No,
Yeah.
that's not it.
And then this is my last question because you're the first one to admit this. I know for some women it's hard to admit, but you said that you wanted a relationship, so you were willing to look past the red flags because you wanted a relationship. What would you tell women that are in a sneaky link or a situationship that want that relationship, but they see the red flags, but are choosing to ignore them?
I would say ask a little bit more questions because sometimes those red flags, like I know with me, the red flags were overlooked because I never asked questions in regards to like, like his mindset,
Mm-hmm.
or I never asked questions in regards to like his actions. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say ask questions. It doesn't matter how foolish you may feel, ask the
Mm-hmm.
questions anyway,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, sneaky links is the beginning stage until it passed like a certain amount of time. So always ask the questions, I would say.
Ooh, and you have to be direct, ladies. You have to be direct,
Yes.
girl, cutthroat, blunt as hell. Because if you're not, they will slide around that question and be so indirect,
Hmm.
but give you a real answer. They slick with that. Catch them. You got to
Yep.
pay attention. You got to pay attention because you'll ask them a question, and if it's not direct, somehow they're able to slide past it, give you a real response, but it not be all the way truthful. So you have
Yep.
to be direct, you have to be blunt, you have to be straightforward. Don't leave no room for no guessing or no assuming, none of that. You have to be direct because men lie. That's how men lie. They lie that way when they can
Exactly.
skate past or slide past the actual truth. So be direct. So
Yes, ma'am.
a prime example would be um if you wanted to know something, you could just flat out say, "Do you see a relationship with me?" He respond, "Yes, no." He responds, "However." "Well, when do you see a relationship with me?" Then he'll probably give you some horrible response. And then you follow up with another question. Just keep drilling him with direct questioning and you'll get your answer. You'll get your answer. But don't be afraid to ask, because that's going to hurt you the most, is being afraid to ask or not being direct because you're afraid of him reacting. If he blows up on you, he's manipulating you and he's trying to get his way with you by emotionally manipulating you by blowing up instead of just answering the question. Any man that's serious about you, they're going to answer those questions. No problem. Okay. Thank you so much
I
for coming
totally
up here and
agree.
sharing. I really do appreciate your story and also the advice that you're giving girls. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so the Black Widow,
Hey,
you are up
Yanni.
next.
Hey, Yanni.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. What would you like to add to the live? Do you have a story?
Yes, I do. It's really
Okay.
short.
Okay.
Yes. So I actually had a sneaky link way back during COVID, and I realized that I jumped his bones too quick because I ended up realizing, like, whoa, I do not like his personality and I do not like him. I
Mm.
just thought he was good looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say this as someone who came from the opposite end of the spectrum. I used to be the toxic chick and I used to be crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I used to cheat. I used to do anything you think you've heard about, I've done it already. And
Mm-hmm.
so coming into the point where I am in my life, like currently I'm celibate. I'm like on this whole spiritual journey and all this stuff. But
Ooh.
during COVID, so the guy, what happened was he was my sneaky link for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having this conversation and I said, you're not who I thought you were. And I feel like everything that I've heard about you is not true. And he's like, he got offended. And I was like, no, like, I say this respectfully, but I feel like we're not really compatible in other
Mm.
deeper aspects. And also, although I liked him,
Mm-hmm.
from the very beginning, I was upfront. So I told him straight up because we had a conversation. I said to him, like, you know, I am interested in a relationship. Are you? And he's like, well, no, not really. And I respected that. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, okay, well, I'm going to be dating around. I don't mind spending time with you because I am, I thought he was fine. It was
Right.
good. Okay, let me just say that.
It's
But
nothing to love up on some good eye candy. You know what I mean?
yes,
Let's be real
exactly.
about it. I mean,
Exactly.
listen, it's hard. Y'all not compatible. But when you're looking at a set of abs and a nice body, and yeah, I like men with nice booties. Girl, it
Yes.
makes you look at them a little different. Okay.
Right. Right. And so, I was like, I don't mind spending time with you and stuff like
Mm,
that. That's not a problem. We obviously right now are both in a different times in our lives, but we can offer each other something right now. It's cool. So then
mhm,
I ended up meeting a guy 2 months in. So I ended up dating the guy for about a month.
mhm.
So I texted my sneaky link and I said, like, I wish you the best. This has been great, but I found someone that I found my person. And I
Uh-huh.
remember the first conversation we had, I let him know directly, like, we can spend time with each other and mess around with each other. If either one of us find our person, I'm
Mhm.
like, that's cool, like, truly. And then I even told him, like, I'm comfortable with talking about like attachments and my emotions. Cause me personally, I've had plenty of casual relations. I've
Mhm.
always been a casual, sex type of gal. I'm not gonna lie. I'm coming from a different end of the spectrum. I do like to deal with men on my own time, but that's just me. I'm
Right.
not I'm not pushing that on anybody, truly. So the the guy was upset. And I think like
What was he upset about?
he was upset because I think what happened is that he did not think I was gonna follow through and find someone else. And I
Ooh.
think he thought I was gonna be in love with him and stick
Ooh.
around.
Ooh.
Here's the thing, and I'm coming from an honest place. This is me.
Mhm.
I feel like there's a place in your like life as a woman where you have to decide whether you're attached or you're truly in love with the person.
Mm-hmm.
I think sexual compatibility is often confused with just being compatible in general. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you get to know this person personally, I have my own values and my own, my own value system, what I believe in, who I am, my identity. I know myself well enough,
Mm-hmm.
haven't been on this earth long, but I've been here long enough that I know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I told him pretty much he got mad at me because he felt like, oh, why is it that, you didn't tell me that you had met somebody? And I said, I already told you I was dating, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you're probably messing with other people and you haven't told me, because when I asked him, are you messing with other people? He was not honest with me.
They
And
never
I told
are.
him, yeah. And I told him, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying to sexually protect myself, because sexual protection is
Right.
still a conversation.
Girl. And this, see, this is what it's sounding like. He wanted you attached while being detached, but because you pulled a U on him, no, you pulled a U, you pulled a U, no, you pulled a him. Wait. How am I trying to word this? You
Yeah.
basically pulled
Mm-hmm.
a U card on him. Like that's what he
Mm-hmm.
does. He's
Yeah.
the detached one. But because
Right.
you pulled that card on him, he really didn't know how to take it. He didn't know how to respond to that because he's so used to girls being attached.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And that was my point where I spoke to him and I said, I came to you genuine. I have no ego in the game. I
Mm-hmm.
process rejection very well. When you said you were not looking for a relationship, I respected that because that's your boundary,
Right.
Just like my boundary is the fact that I was honest with you. I said what I wanted from you. I was very respectful about it. And even though you told me, because he said in the beginning, he felt like if I was like gonna have sex with him and just disappear, which I did not, he thought that I was using him. And I said, no, I was very honest with you and I was honest with you along the way. So then I ended up dating the guy, and my previous Sneakylink,
Mm-hmm.
he ended up unliking all my pictures on Instagram, trying to be petty.
Girl, stop it. See, you
Yes.
probably the only, and this is, girl, I like you, girl. Oh, I do, because I like it when girls, I like it when girls give men a taste of their own medicine. You played karma to him, basically. You played that karmic role for him because men are he's so used to skating through life, sliding through life, and getting girls to get attached to him through his sex. And
Mm-hmm.
when you didn't respond that way, you bruised his ego. He got humbled. And it wasn't
Yes.
intentionally. It wasn't like you went out of your way to humble him. He just got humbled because you were direct, you were honest, you were truthful, you were upfront, you didn't lie to him. He could actually take some notes from you.
Yeah. And but what's crazy though, too? It's the reason why I said he was not the person I thought he was, because he is so sensitive, yet he tried to play like he was so hard. Like, I remember I literally told him a joke and I was like, ooh, like, this sex is too good. I'm going to have to ghost you. And
Mm.
then he's like, oh no, like, if you do that, I'm going to feel like you used me. Like, don't do that. That happens to me a lot. And I looked at him. I said, "No, that was a joke," because I got that off of Ariana Lennox's live, where she said she did that to a dude, and I thought that was hilarious. And so I realized, like, okay, he got a lot going on. And at the time, don't get me wrong, we all got our own issues, but
Right.
he was emotionally damaged. Like, whoa. And the reason why I'm celibate now is because of the fact that I realized when I got into the committed relationship, I didn't want to do that either. I accepted the fact that I want to be with men on my own time, but I
Mhm.
come from a position of power and I'm too selfish. Like, I'm not trying to be shady, because I know you talk about that a lot with women and their toxicity, and I definitely understand.
But when you're
Because
honest, like you were so direct and honest, I don't really see anything wrong with how you moved. That's the thing. It's, to me, toxicity is when you're moving and you not letting people know that could potentially be affected by your actions. But when you're direct and you're honest, and I guess men are kind of blowing you off because they're so deep in their ego, they're like, oh, she want me, she really want me, she just acting tough. And then they got a wake-up call, like they got hit with some real reality, like, oh no, she really don't care for me like that.
Yeah.
He
And
probably
the thing,
likes you more though now.
yes. And the thing about it, I do believe now that he really likes me more and he liked me because I would just be like, okay, because I know this sounds bad, but I'm all about playing to the fantasy if it feels good in the moment because we
Right?
here to feel good.
Facts.
But it's like at the end of the day, we know what time it is. And when the
Right.
time comes, you
We're
know what it
adults.
is. And so we're grown-ups. So then when I got into this committed relationship, I realized I didn't want to do that either.
Mhm.
Having men in your space is a lot. Like it's a lot. And no matter how good the man is, and this is not me putting down men in any, way, shape, or form, it's a lot of labor. It's a lot of labor for me to care about someone apart from myself and work through things.
Mhm.
I'm used to just being like, okay, I don't care about this, bye. But when you're in a relationship and you're trying to handle conflict, it's a whole different conversation.
Right.
So I left that alone. I realized I'm not ready for this, and maybe I might never be ready because I don't even have this like drive or passion to have kids or children.
Mhm.
And I realized, especially like I'm an Aquarius, so I feel like we have
Ooh,
this
girl, you
way.
should have led with that. This makes so much sense. Girl, Aquariuses are the most detached out of the zodiac signs. So this makes so much sense why you was able to like doop, 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 doop. Yep, I'm going.
Yeah,
And you didn't even lie. That's the thing. You didn't lie. You didn't manipulate. His ego is actually what played him. You didn't even play him.
yeah, I didn't like at all. I didn't.
Crazy.
And I definitely I led with myself coming forward.
Right.
So when he tried to like do all this, like he tried to lie to me and stuff, I didn't really think too much of it because I'm like, you know what? That's your bags to carry. That's not mine. Like I
Mhm.
don't have any skin in the game. I know who I am. And honestly, I know what I'm doing. You know, when
Right.
you just know what you're doing, it's like, okay, whatever. He's just doing the most. So overall, it's like I come from both sides, especially when I watch your videos and stuff. I totally get it. Like when you were talking about, there was this one video when you were like, there's a lot of women, it's because you're attracted to that toxicity.
Mhm.
I used to be that woman too. It used to give me a dopamine kick. Cheating and like getting like cussed out by my boyfriend used to give me a dopamine kick. So it's like, I get that. But
Mhm.
I also get the other side that situationships to me don't benefit women overall
Right.
because I feel like men as a collective are too emotionally and mentally damaged. They don't even understand how to have real, consistent, and healthy relationships, even with each other.
Nope.
So, what more so us?
Which
And
makes
this is,
them more emotional. Don't you think men are more emotional than women?
yes, I was going to say that because I was saying that, I was going to say that as I'm getting older too, men tend to get a lot more lonelier as they get older. You know,
Mhm.
the friends start falling away and stuff.
Mhm.
So they are actually more possessive. Like a lot of these men, even though they say that, oh, I want to, I'm not commitment oriented, it just really means that he doesn't want to make the effort to be in a relationship, but he is lonely. So he wants someone to be there, like with him and to
Mhm.
do emotional labor, like hear, his bad day at work and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like even then that's not beneficial because they don't always return the favor to you. But
Nope.
also, many of them don't have the capacity. And this is not even me throwing shade. Like a lot of them are just so like regressive, and they're kind of like men are like badass little kids
They
in men's bodies.
are, girl. They
Yes,
are.
yes. So I had to
And I
accept
thought, I thought switching races, I'm gonna be real with you. I thought switching races, you would get like a different maturity. And in some cases, you do a little bit, but not a lot. I thought it would be like such a big jump or a big leap, but it's like they act like children and they throw tantrums and they have menstrual cycles too. And
Yep.
they don't know how to communicate their feelings because they don't want to identify with their feelings because then they would have to actually deal with their emotions. So
Hmm.
it's just like, it's like dealing with a toddler and it's draining.
Yep. And even telling men, like, even you speaking to them, even when you're addressing their behavior,
Oh my
like say
God.
it's something they struggled with, or it's
Mhm.
like you can sense it's coming from trauma,
Mhm.
they blow up. It's like opening Pandora's box. And it could be just as simple as like, oh yeah, often I see that you're down. Are you depressed? And it's like, why are you saying that?
Yep.
What's going on? And I'm like, okay, something is not right
Yep.
here.
It's just like
Okay.
that scene from Creed when his wife was trying to figure out what was wrong with him and why he was acting out, drinking, and just being super aggressive for no reason. And when she tried to ask him, like, hey, what's going on with you? And he was like, oh, I don't need another therapy session right now. And I'm like, damn,
Mhm.
she just trying to see what's going on with you because you've been acting weird. She trying to see what's going on. And instead of him opening up about what's going on, he just shuts her out, but still
Yep.
wants to treat her aggressively and just get real snappy and short tempered with her. So yeah, men need to work on that. They do.
Exactly. And even when they go to therapy, and this is not this is not to say to lose all hope. Like your relationship with men as a woman is between you and those men.
Right.
But I'm telling you right now, even when men go to therapy, they don't do the work. So it's kind of like okay, like this is pointless. So I'm at a place in my personal life where I don't encourage situationships or casual sex. And this is coming from a woman who genuinely enjoys it, but I have to accept the world that I'm in. And also, men who I'm dealing with are
Ooh.
never going to be able to handle a casual relationship with me because I'm emotionally healthy and I know my boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these men, they can't handle that. And they
Girl.
come from a place of wanting power, wanting to feel like they have one over on you, and very manipulative. So I just decided to let that go and stay by myself. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say to you. And of course, I appreciate your time in speaking with me. You're lovely. And thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for gracing my live, girl. You gave the girls some game too. You did. You gave
No
them some game. So
problem.
thank you, Miss Aquarius.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So let me move on to melted dark chocolate.
Period. I'm here.
Hello,
Hi.
Miss Melted Dark Chocolate. How are you doing?
Hi, Yanni. Hi. Oh my god. I was so happy. Okay, sorry. Let me control myself. Oh wait, let me delete this because I'm hearing feedback. Wait. Can you hear me? Like perfectly?
Yes. I want to say yes.
Okay, because I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
I'm
Yeah,
not
okay,
getting.
so
I
like
was getting
I'm
an
so
echo,
happy.
but then it stopped. So I think you're good now.
Okay, because I'm hearing echo on my side, but yeah, I don't know how to like stop that echo because I already deleted YouTube. But anyway, I'm just happy that you were talking about this topic because
Mhm.
this is something I was discussing so much on my friends that I
Mm.
also made a video about it as well too. Because I was like, when people talk so much about flings and like the hookup culture, it is not all that people try to describe it to be. And even as a person who tried to like date, it was
Mhm.
the same thing too. Because I was pretty much manipulated by the guys I was talking to, and they
Mhm.
knew I liked them, so they took advantage of that to like have sex with me.
Hold on,
And
wait,
it's
wait, wait. They're saying there's an echo, and I'm not sure where is it coming from.
you see, I knew it. I was hearing an echo too. I don't even know where it's coming from. I really don't know. Like, what do I need to do for that to like go away? Because like I only have StreamYard on.
You don't have StreamYard on? Okay.
Yeah, so
Try,
I just like
but I don't want to drop you off the call. You try to did you mute YouTube?
I don't have YouTube. I only have like StreamYard on.
You only have the StreamYard on. Okay. Try turning the volume down on your device.
Okay, because I'm on my laptop, so like,
Oh, okay.
oh,
Or
instead of using
maybe
micro
use headphones.
where's yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. Can you still hear the echo?
Yeah, I think we can still hear it. Do you have
Can you hear
any
me now?
headphones?
Do I have any headphones?
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, I don't have any headphones. Just on speaker. I don't hear the echo now. Do you guys still hear it?
Okay. Is there still an echo, you
Do you
guys?
guys still hear it? Because I don't hear the echo. Yeah, because I don't hear it no more. There's no echo. Y'all still hear it?
Okay, they're saying it's better now.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
Yeah, that's good. That's
sorry.
good. That's good. Alrighty, let's go. Okay, so
But
look,
I wanted to ask though, how old are you?
I'm 20.
20. Okay, so you're around that age group where um it's more I feel like girls are trying to figure out what's for them. So what were you
Pretty
telling
much.
your friends?
Wait, repeat that question again. What you said?
What were you telling your friends?
I was just telling them to like don't have sex early within meeting the guy that you like, especially if he even brought it up too, because you regret it so much. Like
Mhm.
I, it hurt so much because I was on this lovely date with this Tinder guy, and mind you, this
Mhm.
happened like 4 months ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
I really liked him. He was my type. Like he was just a nerd. He was very cute in the face. He was just like me or whatever. He looks very innocent. And it sucks so much because like I actually thought he wanted something with me. And this
Mm.
I realized that, after what you said about the being more direct, yeah, I think I need to start doing that now. Cause like I will always like hide in the intentions that I'm not looking for a relationship. But I just
Mhm.
assume they are because on their dating profile it's a relationship. I assume that we're looking for the same thing. But
Right.
the minute when we go on a date and he was like rushing me so much to go back to his place, and I was confused because I didn't really understand why he wanted me to go visit at his house or whatever.
Yeah, that's
But
always a red flag.
that's what I'm saying. I was new to it because he I thought he was my actual date. I literally thought he
Mm.
was. I thought he liked me because he was saying the right words. He said I was beautiful. He wanted to work in a relationship with me. He actually wanted to do something with me. I thought he was legit. But,
So what made you feel that he was legit? Just like he was doing all of the right things that fit that?
yeah, it's like we went on a nice date. He was talking to me. He was giving me eye contact. I will say that he was doing a lot of you're beautiful and oh my god, I'm so attracted to you. You're my type. He was doing too much of that. He
Do you think
was.
he love bombed you?
I don't even know if I could call it love bomb because the thing is that when I was talking to him about my issues, he was like, "Oh yeah, I can help you because I'm a car technician." He said he's like a car technician or something, so he fixed cars, and he said he was willing to help me to like find a car and whatever. And he's like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
you need a man that works, who's on his own, who's doing what he needs to do." He
Mhm.
was talking that good ish. So I was literally thinking that he was into me. He was just like, I never met a guy who talked to me that way. So it does sound a lot like a little bit of lawn bombing. It did. I didn't thought much of it because it was like, he was just telling me that he was willing to do something for me and he was willing to help me. And
Mhm.
he has like evidence to back it up. So after we like got to his place because he was rushing it. I mean, it was kind of obvious. He was being way too touching, way too gropey. And
Mhm.
after after we had sex, he's asked to switch up like immediately. Like all of a sudden he didn't want to be around me and he just wanted me to go home. And then I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he
And
just charmed you. So you felt like he charmed you out of your panties and then led you on to believe that it was something more than that. And then he switched up on you after sex.
pretty much. I mean, and here's the thing. I didn't even want it, and that was the worst part too. I was
Mm.
not expecting us to have sex. I really wasn't. It was just that I felt like because I was I liked in him, and
Mhm.
I assumed he liked in me. I was like, maybe I should, and I
Mhm.
regretted so much by doing that. I regret so much because it is true that once you have sex with someone, you are very much attached to them. I'm not gonna make it seem like the sex was good, but
Mhm.
girl, he was hung. So he was like the first guy I met that had the size. So like when we had it, it felt different. And so I wanted him to talk to me, but afterwards he ghosted me. And I didn't thought much of it, so I didn't question it at first. I was like, oh well, I guess he wasn't into me like that. But then he came back
Oh yeah,
and
bro. They always come back. They like
that's what
that
I'm
stray dog
saying.
that you gave food to that one time, and then the next
I'm
thing you know,
telling
they
you.
back at your door looking for more food. So yeah,
I'm
they always
telling
come
you.
back. You don't, girl, you don't ever have to worry about being without a man because they always gonna come sniffing around that front door again. But
I'm
this
telling
is my
you.
question though. Did you realize that he had basically charmed you and he had done all of these nice things just to
Yes.
basically swindle you?
Yes. I mean, he didn't really do anything yet. That was the thing. He just
Mhm.
said he was. And then afterwards ghost me. So I never even got to get what he was asking for. But it's just that it was the second time he fooled me because after he came back, I went through again, and then he did the same thing again, and then goes me. He's 23. Someone asked how old he is. He was 23, so we were
Mhm.
like 3 years apart. But I say the lesson I learned from that was to
Mhm.
just never like give out sex so early, because to this
Mhm.
day I can't stop thinking about him, and I regret it so much because like I could have just walked away. Oh my god,
Now,
I could have just.
what makes you regret the experience? Because I feel like regret is such a heavy word, but what makes you regret it? You felt like you didn't like speak up for yourself. You didn't vocalize your wants and needs in that moment.
It just I regret just having sex with him because I realized if I didn't, he probably would have ended before, and I would have known that he was not the person for me.
Mm.
But because it was just something in me. I guess you could say I was so into my emotions, and
Mhm.
because I liked him, I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, let me just do it because he wants it. But it's like
Mhm.
I don't want it. That's the thing. I didn't want
Mhm.
to have sex with him. He wanted it, and it's like I didn't have to lay down with him just because. But
Right.
I was such a fool
If
because I
men only
was
knew that they get sympathy pee out here in these streets, oh, they
literally
get a lot of it.
they
Sympathy
do
pee.
they do, and it sucks
It
so much.
does. Women are nurturers. And he weaponized that basically. So this
Yes,
is my question is what do you plan on doing differently outside of slowing down when it comes to sex? Like are there some other things that you're going to be looking forward to when it comes to meeting someone new?
to be honest with you, I don't really know. Out of all my
Mm.
dating experiences, it made me develop like trust issues. Like I
Mhm.
don't even know anymore like, just how to date. It's like even if I be direct, they still find a way to just try to like get something out of me, and it's
Mhm.
exhausting so much. So it's like I don't even know if I could say I'm being celibate, but it's just like I'm staying away from that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, even though deep down I do want to find a relationship, but I realize that maybe the reason why I'm seeking for a relationship is because I'm lonely and I'm in a
Mhm.
situation where I want someone to give me that comfort space. And it's
Mhm.
like I shouldn't be doing that. If I want a relationship and if I feel ready to, then I should look for that, but I shouldn't be looking for it when I'm at a place where I'm at my worst place at the moment. Like, how can I
Okay.
say?
Well, just some advice based off of what you're telling me so far. And this is just advice. At the end of the day, you can do exactly what you feel comfortable with doing. But I will say that to ease the regret, understand that it was an experience. It was most likely an experience that you needed, but it was harsh. And then also another thing to ease the regret is understanding the fact that you were taken advantage of. Another way to kind of ease that regret too is to understand that sometimes life goes in directions that we really don't want, but we have the power to change that. So you have the power to basically move forward differently. And if he is to come back, honestly, I would have probably blocked this number by now. But
Yeah.
I would also spend more time by yourself so that you can get comfortable with yourself. When you know yourself, like the girl that came on before you, she was the Aquarius. The reason
Mhm.
why she had the experience that she had with that guy is because she knows who she is. Now, it took her going through some toxic experiences, but she knows who she is. So just because you go through a horrible experience, understand like you can learn yourself by that experience. And then you'll get to that point, just like the Aquarius woman that came up here before you, and know yourself to where you won't ever be put in that situation again. So don't just look at it just entirely negative. I understand you feel kind of disappointed because you didn't get what you want, but like look at it from a different lens where it's like, okay, I learned this about myself. I don't want this. and I will never allow myself to be in a situation where I feel like I can't use my voice, you know?
Yeah, I need to stop lying to myself just to like be nice to them. I don't have to, because
No,
they're
you could
very
be, girl, you could be mean. You could be mean as hell. And that's what that Aquarius woman was basically saying. I mean, she wasn't mean in a way of just belittling, right? She was a bitch because she was doing what was best for her. And
true.
that's the difference. It's not that she was just being mean just to be mean. She was doing what was best for her. She knew what she wanted, she knew what she didn't want, and then she knew that this wasn't going to work out for her. So she had to basically be a bitch and just be the, I guess, the most mature one in the situation. Just, hey, this is not for me. I don't want this. And I think that's the lesson in your experiences. Speak up for yourself. You know, you don't have to be nice all the time. Being kind-hearted is a great characteristic, but you don't have to be nice all the time.
Yeah, like no more of me doing that anymore. So
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah, I hope when I do get back onto dating,
Mhm.
I at least approach someone who actually likes me. Like that's all I
Right.
want. Someone who
Yeah,
likes
and
me.
it's nowadays, girl, I'm be real with you. It's hard to tell nowadays because
Literally.
men act one way and then they do the complete opposite. So just don't beat yourself up if you get played, because getting played is part of finding love. Okay, getting played is part of finding love. If you do not want to get played, don't try to find love. Don't just
Yeah.
avoid it altogether. So please understand that when it comes to the dating scene, getting played, getting ghosted is all part of the culture now. And so
Damn.
you gotta love yourself enough to just ignore that type of behavior and move on, you know. But you shouldn't have to carry the burden of regret. You didn't do anything wrong.
I know. It's just the sex. Like it's hard to forget.
You
Like
know,
I straight to that one.
it is. I get it. I get it. Giving your body to someone, it does, and then they just use you and take advantage of you. It does. It sucks. But don't beat yourself up too much. You know, you did learn from this experience, and you're still young. He just took advantage of you, and it's just sad that this is what we women have to deal with.
Literally. And people say that dating is hard for men. It's hard for all of us.
Right. Yeah, it's
Okay.
hard for all of
But
us.
thank you so much for bringing me on here. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for being the voice for the younger girls too, because I think you're like the youngest one that has came up here. That's why I asked you. But thank you for coming up here and being the voice for the younger generation. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay. Positivity, you are up next.
Hello, can you hear me, Yanni?
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. What would you like to add to today's conversation?
Well, let me see. I would say that with my experience, it was I don't know. Like I just got what I kind of learned from this situation. Us when we got to start living in the fairy tale. So first off, I met this guy in college, and you know he was 7'1". You know he just was my dream man, right? So I was thinking, oh my god, yeah. I was like, oh my god. Huh?
I said height can do a lot for a man.
I know, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, like God, you finally sent him, right? And not knowing that, you know, I was just in lust, you know, I was just like, oh my gosh, everything, you know, he treated me like the college boyfriend, you know, he took me there, he'll pick me up from my late night classes. I'm telling you, everything was like a storybook. It was like a movie, okay? And it's just like he started like becoming possessive, but I started, you know, I'm an investigator, right? I don't have a career in it, but I'm good at investigating. So I had started looking at some signs, because I was like, okay, something just don't seem right. You know, something was kind of, you know, God was showing me all the signs, but you know, we be blinded by the lust and all that stuff. So it was like I first saw something on his married finger, right? It was kind of, he didn't wear his ring or nothing. So I was like, why is there an imprint on his married finger? I was like, something just don't sit right and all that, you know? And I was like, okay, that's one thing I need to pay attention to. And then that's when one time we was FaceTiming each other, and he gonna like call me his wife name, but at that time I didn't know that was his wife. I found out after I had did a background check on him and all that stuff, because like I said, I was in La La Land. I was like believing everything and all that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, she's single. Oh my gosh, I finally get the man of my dreams. All that stuff. Not
Oh
realizing he was just playing me in
my
my face. Yes.
God. Wow. And y'all have been in
Yes.
like this situational type of relationship?
Yeah, like at first, when you see somebody you want, right? You be thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta have them, all this stuff like that. You be trying to rush to get them in a relationship, and it's like I demanded him. I kind of, demanded him to be with me. Like, why you trying to act single? All this other crap, and like I said, lust do crazy things to you, girl. So I was
Right.
like, I was just like, you know what? Why am I making this man be with me if he doesn't want to be with me? So it's just like that's after I realized, when I reflect on it, to realize what I'm not gonna do if I decide to date again. And it was just crazy. And when I found out, he called me the girl name on FaceTime, and I was like, who you said? And he was like, so and so. I was like, well, I'm not her. So I'm like, okay. And then that's when I was like, and then I almost was about to, let me tell you, Yanni, I was almost about to share him, because he had to move back in with his wife. He was living in an apartment, and the lease was about to be up, and he had to move back in with her. And I was willing to help him get a U-Haul storage, right? And like, I was like, why you didn't ask me? I'm your girlfriend. I could have helped you out. And he like, no, she gonna help me, and I need you to be okay, because I may have to give it up here and there and all that stuff, just because I have to have a roof over my head. It's gonna be temporary though. And I was about to agree to it. Like when he said, I'm like, man, oh, that the sex was so great. My mind was so clouded. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like,
That's real.
I might say yes. I need to say yes. But then God said, girl, this is not how you need to be treated. Wake up. Like,
Right.
wake the F up, okay? And that's what I was like, no, this is not right. So I had to turn it off. It was just crazy. But, of course, the lingering of the sex kept on being in the back of my head after I moved on. And it took a long time to move on.
Ooh, girl, I
I'm
know
telling
what
you,
you're
it
talking
was
about.
crazy.
I know what
And
you're
oh no, but let me tell you what I found out on a background check. I found out him and his wife, that's probably why they still together in that toxicity type of marriage they have, that they got arrested for domestic violence. I was like, I should have looked him up before I got involved with him. But like I said, when you in lust, you don't be paying attention, okay?
That is crazy. Listen, you guys, I have to be honest with you. If you've never gotten good D, okay, and I mean exceptional, then yes, we could all reason with you and be like, girls, it ain't all that. Girl, have you ever gotten some good D? Have you ever gotten it? Because if you have not, then you will not understand. But if you have, and a man doing everything right in that bedroom, there is a reason why Pookie's and Ray Ray's been in business for generations. There is a reason. It is the only reason why they're still in business till this day, is because they know what they're doing in their bedroom.
Exactly.
Your auntie, the one that got that bummy man, he ain't had a job since they've been together. There's a reason why your auntie's still dealing with that man. And on the outside, you're like, it just doesn't make sense. But if you were to be a fly on that wall, if you was just to be just a fly on that wall, you would be like, oh, auntie, I completely understand. It has to want more. You have to want more than just sex. That's the thing. You have to choose more than just sex. You have to tell yourself, you literally got to shake yourself like, girl, you deserve better. You deserve more than just sex. Because it's great. But it's like, damn, you could get all of these other great things and other great qualities in a partner. So it's like waking yourself up, because it's not going to be easy. It's not.
Yeah, it's not worth it, because I learned that, like I saw some of the people in the comments, it's not worth it. I'm telling y'all, if y'all was ever in a situation like this, because people said, oh, you should have known he was married. I'm like, how would I know that if he wasn't wearing his ring? And I didn't know that because, like I said, I was blinded. You don't want to assume somebody is in a relationship without trying to give them a chance and knowing them and I found out after. If I knew he was married, I don't mess with married people, So for
Right.
people to judge me on that, I'm like, baby, life is a lesson, okay? We
Yeah.
gonna go through things, but after that situation, baby, I'm gonna make sure to do a background check on people. And it's sad that it has to be that way these days, but I'm gonna make sure to get the first and last name, look that person up, and make sure they don't have no wife before I get involved with them, because I'm like,
Girl.
I'm not
And
dealing with that ever again.
it's so funny because I was out with a group of girls last night and we were laughing about how you can always tell a white man is married because he's well dressed. Have y'all noticed that? Now, black men, it's a little bit different. They tend to be well dressed a lot. You can always tell by a black man if he married because of his headboard. FaceTime him and see what his headboard looking like. You know, when it comes to a white man, though, if he's well dressed, like it look like his clothes is ironed and stuff like that, you gotta watch him. You gotta watch him because he may be married. That's how you can tell when a white man is married. And then when it comes to a black man, just look at his headboard, see where he can FaceTime you at. Is he ever FaceTiming you in his house? Is he always in the car? Does he have a place to live? You know, typically with a black man, you'll always find out by his home living situation. But with a white man, you could just tell by how he dresses. You could just tell. You could just tell something about that.
It's
So,
just sad. But one more thing I want to add before I get off is just like, ladies, just be careful out here. Like, I understand that, you know, that there's women out there that desire relationships and stuff. Don't be a fool, because all the sweet nothings and all that stuff is just not worth it. You have to really do your investigation. That's just the way of the world now. Just do your investigation, because you can't always believe what a man say out his mouth. And that's what I had to learn, because he bought me a ring. You know, I had got so mad I threw one of the rings he bought me away. Then he bought me another one. And then the ring that I decided once I wanted to break up with him, I had went back to his house to drop it off. And I guess his Cancer feelings had, you know, they so emotional, right? The water
girl, there's
signs.
something about them Cancer men. I know you didn't just say he's a Cancer.
Yes. I always attract water signs, girl. I'm a Leo. I always attract water signs. I don't know why they like me so much.
Oh my God. I haven't had a great Cancer male story ever. It's always bad. They always cheating too. I don't know something about Cancer men.
I don't know what it is. And it was so funny.
He bought you
like I had gave him back the ring, right? And then I had looked on her Facebook, and he is going to like give her the ring he gave me that he bought me, and she talking about irreplaceable. I'm looking at her like, girl, you ain't irreplaceable. I'm like, he had that ring on my finger before he had it on your finger, but you so stupid to not realize that. But I said, more power to you, baby. And you have a good life.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Girl, it's crazy, but that lesson taught me a lot. So I just realized now to be more open-minded and not fall just because he looks so fine. Oh my God, she's the man of my dreams. I just had to get out that fairy tale. So that's my, you know, my Sneakylink situationship story right there.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I know that was probably hard for you to do. The girls gonna give you a hard time in the chat. You know, I'm sorry you had to experience that, but I do appreciate you.
Yeah, life is a lesson. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I enjoy your channel, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Is it Quintana or Quintana? Hello? Okay, I don't know what's going on with that. Nobody's picking up. Let me go to the next one. Hello?
Hello, Yanni. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hi, chat. You look lovely, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. What would you like to add to today's conversation?
Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, I have a lot of knots on my head from previous relationships, so I decided to just go ahead and sit down for a while. But I will say that it is definitely hard, and I love your words from saying don't beat yourself up, because when I tell you, no one has chastised me harder than my own mind for what I allowed myself to happen and put myself through. And I always tell myself that it was coming from a good place because like you said, it's not something that you sign up for,
Right.
really. You really want love and a connection and a future, but or at least in my case, I'm sorry, I'll speak for me, but it just didn't happen that way. Like, say for instance, I'll give you two examples from my past. I was heavily religious at one point, and this guy I met, he seemed to be the entire package. He was in the Air Force. He was very well dressed, very well spoken, very down to earth, but yet chic in a way. You know, we could go to the restaurant by the pier, we could go to the beach, but we could still chill out at home and play Uno and have, like, you know, some drinks, you know, that kind of thing. But as time went on, he was the type of person you need to be in his face. He could not be that person that would kind of stick with you if you were away from him. So when he started to travel or make plans, I was never included in that. Like, he would go out of the country, or he was stationed like a couple of hours up the road. And when I would see him, it was just, you know, in passing, but he always wanted access to me, period. And I kind of caught on to that early, and when I tried to pull away, he was like, look, I kind of get it. You want more. I'm just not the phone type. You know, have you ever gotten that before? Guys don't really like to talk on the phone. And he was like, I'm not the phone type, but I really want you. I just can't do the boyfriend thing. And my mind should have said, hell no, at the time. It should have, but it didn't. So fast forward, I'm calling myself modern and forward thinking and knowing what it is. But when you already have feelings for someone, when you've already made that connection, I don't care how many times you tell yourself what this is, how you feel is different, and it's difficult. And this went on all the way up until, maybe late last year. And I finally just had to block him because every so often he would find my email, my phone number. I work with a team internationally and I'm on WhatsApp, and oh my God, I cannot tell you how many people have found me on WhatsApp, be like, oh girl, hey, you remember me? And I'm like, hell no, I can't do this. Bye. You know, I gotta block you. But it is so difficult in this time to really find somebody who's genuine, even people who approach you.
I know.
Like, I remember I was approached by this guy. I wasn't even interested at the time. I was just like, you know what? He seems nice. I'll go out with him. But as I spent time with him, I thought that he was a pretty cool guy. He was a little bit older than me, but I really enjoyed him. But then when I started to kind of feel for him, the script flipped. It's like, you know, I'm really not ready for a relationship. I kind of just want to do me. And I'm like, all right, okay. However, let me not answer that phone.
Oh, girl.
Let me go out with my friends. Like, I remember I was in Reno and we were doing a mimosa walk and I was having fun with my girls. I wasn't paying attention to my phone. And he said that he was going to meet us up, but I wasn't paying attention. So he didn't call me for like a week, and I figured whatever. But he calls me one day and he's a little inebriated. And he's like, I was working really hard to spend the day with you, and you didn't contact me or nothing. I was like, wait, hold up. I thought you said we weren't together. Well, we're not, but we're working towards it. I'm like, we are? You know, I'm like, where's this possessiveness coming from? You specifically told me that we were not an item. So it's where did they get it from, Yanni? I don't know. Like,
girl, the way they get so entitled to you and not want you at the same time, and territorial over you and not want you at the same time is beyond. Me. It's the mental gymnastics.
Girl, I don't get it to save my life. I don't, but um I would just say, like, for me personally, I'm trying to take a break. I'm trying to, I wouldn't say that I'm celibate per se, but I just don't have the energy, you know. I really
Mhm.
want to focus on, I've been watching you for a while and I love your content. And I'm really working on that inner peace, that divine feminine, the
Mhm.
getting in touch with really what makes me happy,
Mhm.
getting out, seeing nature, um, going
Mhm.
to a candlelit concert, things like that
Girl,
get
you
you
wanted to
out.
do the candlelit concert too?
Yes, it
And
was
I'm going
so
by
pretty.
myself.
That's what I did. Got all dressed up to the nines and I went. It was
Who did you
awesome.
listen to?
It
What was
was
the
a
theme?
pianist. It was a classical pianist, and I apologize, forget her name. I'm near Seattle, so but I went on a whim, and I really enjoyed myself. And I just find a
Ooh.
lot of things like that. Just recently, I was talking to someone while I was out on a walk, and there's a day spa in the
Mhm.
area. They call it a bathhouse, and I
Mhm.
want to experience one of those full body scrubs and then just
Mhm.
spend the day in the mud room and all that other. Oh my gosh. So just really getting in tune to wellness and resting in my femininity. And honestly, I can say that I really haven't missed chasing or seeking or whatever a guy, because every time I think about, like, oh girl, I don't want the stress. I don't
Right.
want the stress. I
Right.
really don't. I don't want the stress, but also I'm really enjoying my freedom because with my work, like, just for instance, I mean, I just relocated from Nevada a couple of months ago,
Mhm.
and I could maybe be in near Seattle for maybe a year or two, and then I'm off. I don't want to, and I've lost a lot of relationships that way because so many men are afraid to take that chance and either
Mhm.
come with you or move. And I
Mhm.
really don't want to deal with that. I like my freedom. I like to travel. I like focusing on getting healthy again because this pandemic knocked me out. Oh my
Yeah.
God. But yeah, these sneaky links, any ladies that are out there that hear this, um, if you see red flags, if anything in you does not feel right, don't give it the benefit of the doubt, because I promise you it's not going to turn out in your favor. And I can say this from personal experience, but also, Yanni, I watched a young lady who I love dearly.
Mhm.
She was with a family member from the time she graduated high school, 19 years old,
Mhm.
and she just stuck around. She was with him through him being sick, through him going through it, everything. She's now almost 40.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
even when he was in the hospital talking about, like, she's the only one that will be here for me, he still didn't choose her and even cheated
Wow.
on her. And it's like, gosh, I love that woman so much. But I knew that family member wasn't no good for her. And it
Right.
happens. It happens. We end up giving our entire selves to these men
Mhm.
until we just expect a little bit more back.
Mhm.
But it doesn't come. And that's the
Right.
thing. It's like we keep pouring into them and they're empty, but once they get full, they go off to the next woman. They know exactly what to do for the next woman, but we
Yep.
running around empty, you
And
know?
then they took your energy with them and then want to be in
Exactly.
the next woman's face.
But watch out though, once they get their behinds kicked by the next one.
Yep. They try to come back.
Exactly.
Listen, ladies, y'all need to understand right now that a man will always come back. So you don't ever have to be afraid about leaving a man like, what? Will he want me still? Yes, but he's not going to want you the way that you want to be wanted. That's the problem.
Oh
Okay.
yes.
So don't ever have to worry about a man not wanting you. There's always some man from your past that's going to come back and try to swing back in and see if that door is still open. And if they find a crack, they will go back in that door and try to just have fun with you again. You
Yes.
know, it's very rare that a man ever comes back elevated because men don't work on themselves. They just don't. They don't feel like
Mm-mm.
they need to.
No. And just to add to that, find something to do. And I mean that in regards to, because when you're lonely, when you're not working on yourself,
Mhm.
as soon as if you keep that that broken part of your spirit that let that person into your life, you're
Mhm.
going to start reminiscing on that person in a better light than you ever should.
Ooh, we
And
yeah.
I know I've done that. I have gone
Ooh,
back
wee.
to men that were in my past, even though they freaking dogged me. But I was like,
Mhm.
oh, girl, remember that one time he showed up and
Mhm.
he did that one thing? And you remember that one thing.
One.
And I think it was you, Yanni, who said this once. You said the next time you think about picking up the phone and calling that ex, I'm
Mhm.
gonna need you to, when you leave, write down what he did. Even if you
Mhm.
gotta put it in your
Mhm.
phone, F boy,
Yep, that's exactly what I
cheater.
be doing.
Exactly.
But I done
Go
got
pick
so
up.
ruthless, y'all. You know what I be doing now?
You be
Girl,
blocking
I
them
will block the man and then delete his number out of my phone, so I have no way of being able to contact him ever again in my life.
ever again in life. Yep.
I've graduated because I used to have to do that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't bring myself to delete the number.
Right.
So
Me
what I would
too.
do is in the name section, I would write in, he ghosted me for the fifth time.
Mm.
You dumb if you reach out. Like I really would write a note. Y'all, I'm so
You told
serious.
yourself, you was like, you
Girl,
dumb if you.
I am so serious. I am so serious. I'm so because I had because oh my gosh, I'm an empath. So it's like,
Oh,
oh, but
me
he didn't
too.
mean it. He was
Yes.
going
Oh,
through a
me
hard
too.
time. That would be me, a sucker. So I said, you got to get better at this, girl. You gonna keep getting put through the ringer. I said, write
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
name what he did, put the date when he did it, because you can put notes
Mm-hmm.
and remind yourself why you stopped talking to this man. Because if you don't, you're gonna rationalize and forget.
Yep. Yep. And you know
Mhm,
what? There was a old boyfriend that I used to go in that same cycle with.
mhm.
And I tell you, he told me himself, he's like, you know what? I know how far I can push you before you leave.
Ooh.
And every time you come back, every time he come begging, every time he pushes that button, and then a month or two go by, I don't talk to him, no contact, whatever, and then I get flowers, and that's the thing. And you know, I love flowers, Journey, but what became weird is that they started to become a bit of a thing that symbolized trauma for me,
Mhm.
because he would only send flowers to me, the thing I loved, after he did something wrong.
Oh, I hate those. I hate those gifts.
And
I
it's
hate
like,
it.
I love flowers. Couldn't get me flowers any other time. But when he would really hurt me,
Mhm.
they would arrive at the door in abundance.
Mm. I wonder how many of those type of flowers y'all be seeing on y'all's Instagram timeline.
That's a
Mm.
good point.
Oh yes, girl. That's why when I be looking at girls get flowers and gifts, I'm like, is it genuine? That's the second question I'm gonna ask. It's not my business, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
just gonna automatically assume things is just peaches and cream. That's not real life. You know, real life is women getting flowers after a man messes up. It's just it is what it is. And it had to be extreme. That's why he felt the need to buy flowers. Men don't buy women flowers today. We gotta buy ourselves flowers. They don't buy
And I
flowers.
do.
Flowers are
I,
like
I do.
$12.99.
They not that expensive at all. But then I get bougie too. I remember once I got so tired of having my lip poked out at Valentine's Day. I
Mhm,
did it big. Do you know I send myself a dozen roses for every
mhm,
decade of life? I'm 34.
mhm.
Every year for Valentine's Day. And girl, I had the mug sent to my office.
Yep.
I bought
Yep.
I bought 12 chocolate dipped strawberries. I like dipping strawberries myself now because you get more and it's more fun. But
Mhm.
like seriously, when all them things showed up to the office and them girls was looking at me, and then they found out that I sent them to myself, they're like, girl, that's like for real. Like, you desperate? I'm like, look, I can either have my lip poked out because I'm waiting for somebody to do me the way I want to be done, or I can treat myself. I love me too. Yes, I'm waiting for love to come along,
Right.
but I love flowers. I
Right.
love Valentine's Day. I'm going to live it up. And I
Right.
booked me a massage and a mani-pedi, and I took myself to a nice dinner. And I treated me this way. You can't
Oh, girl, I love
expect
it. I love it. I love it. I love
you
it.
can't expect and sit around
Nope.
and wait for somebody else to treat you the way you want to be treated.
Nope.
Level up.
Yep. So you treat yourself like that, girl. I like that.
Oh
I
yes,
like that.
I love
Yep.
it.
I
I
love that.
absolutely love it. And
Mm-hmm.
some other ladies started doing the same. It's like, don't be waiting
Mm-hmm.
on these men, because the first thing they'll tell you is like, oh, that's a man-made holiday. Fool,
Mm-hmm.
birds don't be celebrating holidays. Of course, every holiday is a man-made holiday. If you
Right.
want to celebrate it,
Right.
celebrate it.
Right. You deserve
And
to feel special.
absolutely. And I love flowers. So it's like, okay, Valentine's Day, I want red roses. For Easter, I order tulips. At
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, I order the poinsettias, but I wanted to have that for me, to show me some love, because it's so, as women, we're always told, well, somebody else should be doing for us, or
Right.
somebody else should be validating us. But we're not told to validate
Ourselves.
ourselves
Yep.
and who we are outside of a man attached. Even when it comes, name something. If
Mm-hmm.
a man is not attached to it, you are automatically demoted in the eyes of society.
Yep.
And that is so damn sad.
And
However,
it's
if
fake. It's an illusion. It's not even real.
you're right, but on the adverse, Yanni, if a man is attached to a woman, his value decreases. And I've heard
Mm-hmm.
that all over
Yep.
YouTube too. So we're the valuable ones, but our value goes down when we're attached to a man, or vice versa if we're not attached to a man.
Mm-hmm. Instantly. And if you attach to too many men, your quote unquote value goes down.
I
So
guess that's the great thing about staying off of social media, like, and traveling a lot.
mm-hmm.
Can't nobody track me down.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't have a hometown full of neighbors who be like, "Ooh, girl, she
Who
was
that?
over here." Mm-mm. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a new city, new face, new name. You're good.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for coming up here and sharing with
Thank
us.
you. Peace and blessings, sis, and keep doing what you're doing. I love your energy. It
Thank
it
you. Thank you.
oh, it is so sunny in this rainy behind Washington.
Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Alrighty. Bye-bye. Okay. You guys, ladies, I only have room for one more caller. Don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I'm supposed to get out. I'm supposed to be off of here by 5 o'clock. Okay. Bunny, you're up next. And I don't think you've ever been up here, but I've seen you try to get in and you finally got in. Is it Bunny?
Hey,
How
can
are
you hear
you
me?
doing?
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, so my sneaky link story, um, it was in 2022,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it was like months after I broke up with
Mhm.
my ex. He was a pandemic boyfriend,
Oh,
but
it
I knew
seems like
him
the
prior.
situationships during that time were at an all-time high because everybody had to be kind of like in their corner, not seen, not heard.
Yeah, but the ex-boyfriend I had, I
Mhm.
knew him before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
And then during the pandemic, when we made it official, I had to break up with him. Too much going on. So in 2021, I took time off from dating
Mhm.
and took like 11 months off from dating. In 2022, in the beginning, I meet someone new.
Okay.
And he had all the right ingredients, looks good on paper,
Mhm.
tall, handsome, got money,
Mhm.
has his own place, has a nice
Oh.
car.
Mhm.
He has a pet, he's single. I have a pet too, so we had that in common. So, we hit it off. And I met him at at one of my gigs on set. So we had that in common too.
They're saying there's an echo. I don't know.
Is there? Hold on. Hello?
Is that better, you
Is
guys?
it better?
I want to say it is, but it wasn't echoing for me. So let me see.
Is it
Say testing 1 2 1 2.
testing 1 2 1 2? Testing, testing.
Okay, it's good. Okay, you're good.
Okay, cool. So I start seeing the guy because I met him on set. We hit it off. He looks good on paper. He looks good in person. So I'm just like, all right, maybe this is my sign to start dating again. And we get into the Sneakylink situationship. And I like noticed some things about him. So I just figure in my head, like, I'm gonna start dating around. Like, I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket. Once I started pulling back from him and weighing my options with other suitors, that's when he was leaning in more and wanted to deal with me. And I was like, what you got going on is not what I want. And it's like, even like when we got intimate, it was like real rough. And I felt like he was trying to like guinea pig me. And I was not with that. So I had to get rid of him because, you know, some men, when you're intimate with them, you know if they care about you and your well-being while they're intimate with you. I started to see that he wasn't, so I had to reel it back in and get low and get ghost because I just wasn't feeling a lot of things. He looks good on paper. Everybody thinks he's this great person, but like behind closed doors, he got a lot going on.
So you think he was more animalistic? I tell y'all, ladies, I warn y'all about that animalistic type of sexual man that will just get behind you and act very animalistic. That's why I be talking about animalistic was kind of similar to what we saw in Swarm with Chloe. That's why I was like, it wasn't that she did the sex scene, it was the type of sex scene that she did, you know?
Yeah, so, it's like, you know, everybody has their thing, but me personally, I just don't like it rough. I like soft, sensual, a person who cares. So once I seen that, I was like, I can't do it. So, you know, like you said, when you ghost somebody, they spin the block.
Yep.
So by the time he spins the block, I'm already moved on to somebody new. And now he's upset. Now he's upset about it. And I'm like, remember when you told me we're not together? Now we're not together. So why are you mad? Why are you mad that I moved on? Like, what you don't compromise enough. I don't like how you have sex. It's just not my style. Maybe you'll find somebody else. And I feel like because he is the way he is and he's used to getting women, that he was like shocked, like, oh, so like no one ghosts me, like who you think you are? And and I'm just like, you're good, but not for me.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like if you're gonna do a sneaky link, which I don't necessarily recommend, but if you're gonna do it on your own terms, like never on the man's terms, on your terms.
Right.
Like if you want to date around, that's your business. If you want to have casual sex, that's your business. But you shouldn't revolve your sneaky link on what the man wants. It should be always what you want. And when I gained like autonomy and like came down from like liking him and like really thought about it and sat with myself, I was like, this is not for me. This is
Right.
not for me, and it's okay. And I can either communicate it or I can ghost them. Some people don't like ghosting, but sometimes it's like
It's
fight,
necessary.
flight, or freeze.
Right.
And I'm like out of there.
Yeah. Dang, girl, that's a lot. So where are you now with all of this experience that you have? Where are you at now? Where's your mindset?
Well, I have a boyfriend now, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
So
guess it all worked out then.
yeah, it did. And it was one of the other people that I was going on dates with. I took my
Mhm.
time, you know, we like discuss things, and he does what I like, and he
Mhm.
treats me well, and
Mhm.
he's really sweet man. So
Mhm.
it all worked out. Like the things that I need for me is what he has.
Mm.
So it's like it didn't like harden me and make me like stop, you know, to find somebody better.
Right.
But it also made me move different.
Mhm. More cautious.
Yeah, more cautious, and then also just really saying what I want, how I want things done. I
Mhm.
did. I said I want to have a relationship. I'm dating for a reason, not for a season.
Right.
So I basically, yeah. So that's
I
how I
love
ended up
that.
with my boyfriend.
Okay. I love that. Thank you for coming up here and sharing. I
Thank
think
you.
that
I'm
would give
so
the girls
nervous.
oh no, you were great. I
I'm
think it gives
so
the girls some optimism, that it doesn't have to just be, oh, you're just gonna end up by yourself. You just can't settle for what you don't want while wanting something else, you know?
Yeah. And like also like really speak up. Like don't
Mhm.
be afraid to speak up and say what you want, and like know when something's not working for you, even though everybody around you might be like, "Oh my god, you're crazy. Like he's such a great
Mhm.
catch and this and that." Don't let other people looking from the outside influence you to stay somewhere you don't need to stay.
Right. Right. I agree. Yeah. Because they don't see the men in the same light that you do. You know?
Exactly. They're
So
not
yeah.
there when you're inside and the doors are closed. They don't know
Mhm.
what's really going on, and you could be smiling whether you post your man online or you post that person's
Mhm.
hands and the dinner table, you know, or the gifts and things. They don't know what's really going on. Maybe you're
Right.
doing that to find comfort in yourself by posting that, but
Mhm.
you could really be going through all kinds of horrible things behind
Right.
closed doors.
Right. That is so true. Thank you so much for coming up here and sharing. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for listening. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. And happy belated birthday again. I love
Thank
what you
you.
do. Keep doing the Lord's work, and helping all of us women out here.
Thank
you know,
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
You enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye-bye. Okay, you guys, I was going to end it with that call, but we have a man that wants to come up here and chat. He's the only brave one that I've seen. So I'm like, let me go ahead and give this man a chance. Let's see. Mike, how are you doing, sir? You're mute. I don't know what's going on.
Hello?
How are you doing, sir?
Good, good. On behalf of Black History Year, you're new. I mean, I'm new to you, and
Okay.
happy birthday. And you,
Thank you.
you
Thank you.
rough, man. But so I've never really been in a real relationship like that. It's been long distance, so I'm really just here for uh some advice and encouragement.
You're in a
I'm a lot.
relationship right now?
No, to get into one.
Oh, you
It's
want to
like,
get with someone?
yeah, I
Okay.
feel like God held me back, like not held me back, like no, hold on. But like I was in this one relationship last 4 years, but it's like, uh, hmm. but
We can
You know,
barely hear you, sir. Is there any way you can improve your mic?
hello, is this good?
I think it's a little bit better. Do you have like headphones or something?
They are headphones.
Oh, they are. Okay, maybe it is the headphones. I don't know. Try to turn up your volume. You sound a little muffled. That's all.
How about now?
Okay, that's a little bit better.
All right. Well, where did you not hear?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
What part did you not get? Did you not get the whole
You said
thing?
that you were looking for a relationship, that you had
Yeah.
just got out of a relationship.
Oh no, that was like since 2019. I've been trying to get into a relationship since then. You
Okay.
know,
So what are you looking for?
I mean, uh,
It's okay. You don't have to be nervous.
just a spiritual soul sister that knows who she is, like in God, understanding who we are as people.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we're the people of the Bible, and with that being said, like I always dealt with confidence as a young man. Like in church, I did martial arts, and I did 4 different. But it's like I learned it's not about really swag. It's like I'm more. You get to know me, then uh, 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 things will be good. But it's like I was never like, oh, let me get your number. Da, da, da. It's like, um,
So
but
you have a hard time approaching women?
I mean, to a degree, it's like just
Mhm.
like 50-50, 60-40. But it's like, um, it's like a swing and a miss. But it's funny because you be saying that there's a lot of these brothers. I was going to say niggers, but brothers who be making it look bad for everybody. Like I heard out of all the women, 3-4 dudes say, they thought they were good dudes, spiritual or
Mhm.
God. Like, oh,
Mhm.
my mom and dad deacons, like, and I got 3 sisters, they're not quite Instagram models, but they make up and they're really good. But it's like um I've always been told like Mike, man, you are peculiar, you're interesting, you are funny, you are that. But I always felt like, why'd you make me like this guy? Like I'm a lover. Like I would write letters, I would buy flowers, send it to you. I'm just an old school dude. I can't rap
So
or
you feel
sing.
like you're not accepted.
Oh, I mean, uh, I would say accepted, but
Mhm.
I haven't met this Negro before. Like, bro, I don't know how to come across. And I just like, um, it's just tough, man, because um, uh, I can cook like nobody else. I would love to be a chef, but if I don't want to go to school for it. But I might just start my own cooking business. Um, uh, it's a shame because I'm sorry. Let me hear what you.
So you feel like you get curved a lot by women?
I wouldn't say curve. I just don't know where to find y'all.
Well,
Like,
okay. Well, this is not the lie for that, but before
yeah,
I'm gonna give you some places to try out. You can try
like,
coffee shops.
okay.
Try coffee shops. That's a good place to start. Try coffee shops Monday through Thursday, because most women who are productive, they're about their business, they're probably have like a really good head on their shoulders. They're going to be at the coffee shops, you know.
Hmm.
Also engage in group activities that are like more co-ed. So, I mean, a workout group, community work is great. You could find a wonderful woman if you get into community work. That could give back to your community as well, while also maybe meeting someone. Um, Also, there are some smaller groups that you can join that have like different chapters and things like that that can really get you involved in certain spaces. It could be artistry, it could be again community. So it would be like it would be like a private group where you come together, host events, and then the proceeds tend to be donated back to the community. So you just kind of have to put yourself out here in new spaces that can help you be in the right space to meet someone that is more of your, I would say caliber. I don't think you'll do well in a club setting, even though that's what's pushed. I don't think you'll do well there, but I think you'll do well in a coffee shop. I think you'll do well doing community service and things like that. So you should give those things a shot.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome, Mike. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All righty.
I'll stay, on your platform and stuff.
Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, y'all. That was the last one. So this live is going to be saved on Patreon. It's not going to be made public. Thank you for coming up here and speaking. Should I host a part 2 to this? Let me know if I should, because then I can host a part 2 so more people can come up here and chat. Oh yeah, church is always great. Church is always great. But if I should host a part 2 to this, let me know if you felt like you didn't get an opportunity to come up here and chat. A part 2. I was thinking so too. Okay. I will do that. I will probably schedule that for next week, same time, Friday. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys for coming up here and sharing and being honest about your experiences. I really do appreciate it. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.